It was not just a wall, it was a line drawn through history, separating families, ideologies, and entire ways of life. A wall that stood at the center of the Cold War, a wall that turned a city into a symbol, the Berlin Wall. For 28 years, it divided East and West, freedom and control, hope and fear. But how did it begin? And how did something so powerful collapse so suddenly? In 1945, World War II ends in devastation. Germany is defeated. Its cities are destroyed. Its government has collapsed. The Allied powers meet to decide the country's future. At conferences like Yalta and Potsdam, they agree to divide Germany into 4 occupation zones. The Soviet Union takes the East. The United States, Great Britain and France control the West. Berlin, the capital, is also divided into 4 sectors. But this arrangement is fragile. The alliance that defeated Nazi Germany begins to fall apart. The Soviet Union, under Joseph Stalin, wants a buffer zone of controlled states in Eastern Europe. The Western powers push for democracy and economic rebuilding. Tension grows quickly. In 1948, Stalin makes a bold move. He blocks all ground access to West Berlin. No food, no fuel, no supplies. It becomes known as the Berlin Blockade. The Western response is extraordinary. Instead of retreating, they launch the Berlin airlift. For 11 months, planes fly non-stop into West Berlin. At times, one plan. Life in East Germany becomes increasingly restrictive. The government controls nearly every aspect of life. Jobs, education, media, all influenced by the state. The secret police, known as the Stasi, develop one of the most advanced surveillance systems in the world. By the 1980s, they have hundreds of thousands of informants. People live in constant uncertainty. Who can you trust? Meanwhile, West Germany experiences an economic boom, known as the Wirtschaftswunder or economic miracle. Modern buildings rise. Consumer goods become widely available. Opportunities grow. The contrast is clear and impossible to ignore. So people leave, not just a few, but millions. Doctors, engineers, teachers, young families. Between 1949 and 1961, around 7 million people flee East Germany. That's nearly 1 in 5 citizens. Berlin becomes the main escape point. There is still no physical barrier. You can walk, drive, or take a train from East Berlin into West Berlin. For East German leaders, this is a crisis. The Count. The decision is made in secret. On the 13th of August, 1961, East German forces seal the border overnight. Barbed wire is laid across roads. Checkpoints appear instantly. Public transport is cut off. Some people are trapped at work. Others cannot return home. The shock is immediate. Within days, the wire becomes concrete. Buildings near the border are emptied. Windows facing West Berlin are sealed. Families shout to each other from opposite sides, unable to cross. Soon, the Berlin Wall becomes a complex border system. Not just a wall, but layers of defense. Concrete barriers up to 3.6 meters high. Guard towers every few hundred meters. Floodlights that turn night into day. Dogs patrol the area. And between the walls, the death strip, a Liedhaus. A wide, empty zone designed to make escape nearly impossible. Orders are strict. Border guards are authorized to use deadly force. The city is no longer just divided, it is imprisoned. There is still no physical barrier. You can walk, drive, or take a train from East Berlin into West Berlin. For nearly 3 decades, the wall defines daily life. In West Berlin, the city becomes a symbol of freedom. Supported by Western nations, it thrives economically and culturally. It becomes a center for art, music, and political expression. In East Berlin, life is very different. Movement is restricted. Leaving the country without permission is illegal. Criticism of the government can lead to arrest. The Stasi monitor conversations, letters, even personal relationships. Fear becomes normal, and yet people resist. Thousands attempt to escape. Some dig tunnels. One famous tunnel allows dozens to flee. Others hide in modified cars. Some swim across rivers or use forged passports. One of the most incredible escapes happens in 1979, when two families build a homemade hot air balloon and fly over the wall to freedom. But not everyone succeeds. At least 140 people are killed trying to cross. One of the most tragic cases is Peter Fechter, an 18-year-old shot while attempting to escape in 1962. He bleeds to death. By the 1980s, change is inevitable. The Soviet Union faces economic decline. Its control over Eastern Europe weakens. Mikhail Gorbachev introduces reforms. Glasnost openness and perestroika restructuring. These ideas spread. People across Eastern Europe begin demanding change. In East Germany, protests grow. Thousands gather in Leipzig, Berlin, and other cities. They chant for freedom, for reform, for the right to travel. The government tries to suppress them, but the pressure is too strong. The system is beginning to collapse. Then comes the moment that changes everything. On the 9th of November 1989, an East German spokesperson holds a press conference. He announces new travel regulations. The plan is to allow limited travel slowly, carefully. But when asked when the rules begin, he hesitates and says, "As far as I know, immediately." The statement spreads within minutes. Thousands head to the Berlin Wall. Crowds gather at checkpoints. Guards are overwhelmed. They receive no clear orders. The crowd keeps growing, chanting, pushing, demanding to pass. Finally, the guards make a decision. They open the gates. People surge through. They climb the wall. They celebrate together, East and West, united. Strangers embrace. Tears, laughter, disbelief. After 28 years, the wall has fallen. The days that follow are historic. People begin tearing down the wall piece by piece. Some use hammers and chisels. Others take fragments as souvenirs. Within months, the barrier is gone. On the 3rd of October 1990, Germany is officially reunified. The Cold War begins to fade. A divided nation becomes whole again. Today, only parts of the Berlin Wall remain. Some are preserved as memorials. The most famous, the East Side Gallery, stretches along the city, covered in powerful artwork. What was once a symbol of division is now a reminder of unity. The Berlin Wall stood for 28 years. It separated millions of people, but it could not stop the desire for freedom. And in the end, it didn't just fall, it was brought down by the people. Thanks for watching this story about the Berlin Wall. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more history documentaries. And I'll see you in the next video.